What is going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're going to be breaking down why Spectre has a 51.22% win rate according to Dota buff. Hopefully you guys do enjoy the video. If you guys do, consider subscribing and joining the Dota Chronicles community. We keep growing every single day and I'm super excited to keep bringing you guys more content. So today I actually ended up playing Spectre, which it had been quite a long time since I played this hero, but I had some really good matchups and I thought it would be a really good Spectre game. Moral of the story is I got absolutely shit stomped in the laning phase. I believe I was 0-4. The game was looking extremely difficult. My mid lane lost the lane as well and off lane as well, so the game was looking pretty dire and we were radiant, so it was a very difficult game. But I did notice that Spectre does what Spectre does best. If you're able to give this hero time to recover, this hero is one of the best late game heroes in the game, and he has always been like that. Now, you can't always get this lucky where the enemy gives you the time and the space to actually farm some items. Most games they're gonna pretty much go high ground in the game, and there's not a whole lot this hero does in the high ground. There's not a whole lot the hero does, period. This hero without items is absolutely trash. He is just such a slow hero. Even though he's a bit faster now with his ultimate, you can kind of push tempo slightly. Like Haunt was actually just a lot better. It was slower, but I did like Haunt way better, and the fact that now that's the Aghanim Scepter is kind of a grief in my opinion. It would be really strong for Spectre if they gave it to him in his shard. I think it might be a little bit too strong, but it would be incredible if they ended up doing that. I think it would be a really good option for Spectre to come online much faster and be able to fight early. This hero farms super slow. One of the things I will never understand about Spectre is why Spectral Dagger costs so much mana for the fact that it barely does any damage. Yeah, the slow is okay and whatnot, but the ability freaking sucks. I honestly, and this has pretty much turned into a video of hating on Spectre, and honestly, yes, you could kind of attribute it to that, but I will be getting down into the nitty gritty of why he's a pretty strong hero this meta, assuming that everything goes properly in the laning phase. Now, a lot of Spectre spammers definitely know their matchups a lot better. I know most of his matchups, and I know usually when I like to pick the Spectre, usually when there's backliners, heroes like Drow and Sniper, Nature's Prophet and such, that I could easily get on top of them. Those are usually my targets, but it just feels really sad when Spectre loses his lane. The hero just can't farm side camps easily. He cannot take stacks. You pretty much have to build the Blade Mail pretty much every single time, which Blade Mail does feel nice on this hero. I definitely like it. Some people like to build Vessel on the Spectre. That build I definitely don't like at all because it just takes too long to get the Vessel online. And yeah, the stats are pretty good, but I would leave it at Urn. I understand why you're getting the Urn. That mana regen and the health regen is really nice. I definitely can get behind the Urn. It's a nice cheap small item, but I think getting the Vessel is a bit overkill, but I do see a ton of players getting that. So that's just definitely my philosophy on the way Vessel works. I think Blade Mail is a much better item. I think Diffusal is a much better item, and they're going to help you a lot better in terms of securing kills and winning team fights. But once you're able to get up there and get yourself a Manta or maybe an Orchid, I was playing today with Gleipnir. I'm a really big fan of Gleipnir. It's such a strong item this patch. I think you should be building Gleipnir pretty much on anyone, and they had 2 Silver Edges on the enemy team, so Gleipnir just kind of made sense. Just locking people down and being able to see them is very important, because as a Spectre, eventually you're going to run out of slots and you're not going to have that space for dust, and you're pretty much going to be going for a lot of solo pickoffs, so you need to make sure you're able to see your target if they have a Shadow Blade. So I really did like the Gleipnir. I think it's quite situational. It could also be pretty decent if you are struggling. If it's a game where you're getting beat down, you got a couple deaths in the laning phase and there's no real good way to recover, I think if you get yourself treads and get yourself a Maelstrom, it would be pretty good. You don't have to upgrade to the Gleipnir right away. I think you can go for Manta, but I think it's a pretty decent build that helps you farm. Spectre really needs that buff. Spectre really needs a way to farm because this hero just farms super slow. Let's break down some of the best and worst matchups for the Spectre. Some of the best matchups are Sniper, Riki, Nature's Prophet, Axe, Drow. All these heroes you can easily get on top of, easily blow them up if you're having a good game. If a Drow is having a really good game and the Spectre is not having a good game, she would just shred you. She would practically eat you for breakfast. You have to forcefully build a Blade Mail and you have to build yourself an Orchid, but she just builds items to get away from you. It's not a matchup that you're guaranteed to win because Drow just hits really hard and can easily burst through you, even through your dispersion, and if she gets BKB, even through your Blade Mail. So you have to keep that in mind. It's not the end all be all of matchups, but when it comes to heroes like Sniper, Riki, Nature's Prophet, which Nature's Prophet is super popular right now and so is Sniper, a lot of people have been asking me in the comments to give you guys a really good matchup that can easily take care of Sniper. Spectre is one of those. You naturally build Blade Mail so you can easily take care of him. You're able to jump the backline super easily, and if he wants the mana up, he's gonna end up killing himself, so there's no real good way of the Sniper getting around to you. Now obviously obviously if you're not able to see the sniper and he's able to start laying into you and you have no good way of getting close to him, yeah, you'll probably get dropped, because sniper's damage is absolutely insane, especially with items like Silver Edge and Scotty and Daedalus. All these items are going to be quite problematic for you, but if you could jump the backline, sniper is going to be absolute food. And if they build super greedy, it's going to be even easier for you, because they need a lot of defensive items to actually get away with this matchup. Some of the bad matchups are Meepo, Necrophos, Lone Druid, Beastmaster, Undying. These matchups are extremely brutal, especially the Beastmaster in the lane. You definitely get kicked out of lane super quickly, so you need to be prepared for that. A good Beastmaster player will easily kick a Spectre out of lane. There's not a whole lot you're going to be doing in that lane. You're going to die quite a few times, so you should really have a plan on trying to get a blade mail as fast as possible, maybe even before the treads. Honestly, some matchups are this brutal that you're not going to be able to do a whole lot. Lone Druid is a hero that's pretty much kicking Spectre's ass left, right, and center, especially with the way people are building Lone Druid now, because they're using the bear necessities facet. So they're building the actual main Druid, and the bear is just kind of like a side character. And I really have been playing this. It's more gimmicky, but it actually makes a lot of sense. And the fact that those items are going to be much stronger, and you can always pass all that extra inventory to your actual bear, so you don't have to focus on building the bear. You focus on building yourself, and as you get that net worth, as those items get better, you start upgrading, you start giving them to your bear, and you're pretty much building both heroes at the same time, and it makes a lot of sense. I'm really a big fan for Lone Druid, and it could easily deal with a Spectre. You could pretty much build Silver Edge on the bear and start wailing in with your main Druid with a Gleipnir, and the Spectre is pretty much not going to go anywhere. So if you keep your matchups in mind and you start winning the lane, there's definitely a possibility that you could snowball, and that's when you start thinking about items like Orchid. You start thinking about items like Nullifier. Nullifier is a really good item, especially against Omni Knight and these types of heroes that you can easily nullify and start taking care of, or heroes that like to build Force Staff, maybe the Drow Ranger, build the Hurricane Pike. You can easily deal with that. There's a lot of things you can do on the Spectre. If you make it to the late game, you have a pretty good shot of actually winning the game. The hero's insanely hard to get rid of. The Shard is also a really good option because it's going to help you with your dispersion. It's going to increase it, and dispersion is one of your best tools. Definitely play around that. It's pretty much what's going to give you the most amount of damage. And if you are facing up against illusion heroes, you could always go back for the Radiance, but the build up to Radiance is just so slow. But if you're having a really good game, again, these are all very dependent. If you're having a super terrible lane, don't get an 18-20 minute Radiance. It's not going to make a really big difference in the game unless the enemy team is absolute trash and they're giving you this much time and space to build an item like that, and you can get away with it, sure. But if you're facing up against a good team, you're not going to do anything with those items. The Radiance is a really solid option because it helps you farm much better, helps you fight much better if you're able to get it at a decent timing. If you see that it's already pushing 12-13 minutes and you're nowhere near that Radiance, you should just abandon the option. Go for cheaper items like Diffusal or a Blade Mount. You're going to be much better off, because in a lot of games, especially this patch, a lot of games revolve around Deathball meta and revolve around pushing high ground pretty much before 30 minutes. There have been some crazy stomps I've been witnessing that have been pretty rough and feel absolutely unplayable for all these typical hard carries that need 2 or 3 items to be online, 30-minute plus games. That's no longer happening as much. Most lobbies have a Nature's Prophet in the game, or a Wind Ranger or a Lina that have a Gleipnir by 16-17 minutes, maybe 18 minutes, and they're going to be running down your base very quickly, and you're not going to be able to get away from that unless your team can match that tempo. You're not going to be able to do a whole lot. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the video. Let me know if there's any Spectre spammers in the comments below. Let me know what part of this hero you guys think needs a change for it to be more meta and a lot more fast paced. I'm kind of tired of seeing the Spectre pretty much go for the late game all the time. I would love to see maybe a facet or something that would allow Spectre to play at a much faster pace and have more of a 15 to 17 minute timing rather than a 30-35 minute timing with a bunch of items. I think those are much more realistic to get when it's pretty much 15 minutes into the game, 17 minutes, and you're online and you can go for all these pickoffs and join your team rather than just AFK farming like a Terrorblade or like an Naga Siren for a really long time. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.